All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started with the training here. And we appreciate your time, and we're gonna get right on into it. And the goal of this training is to show you pretty much everything not to do before you start or commit to a video strategy. And the whole idea here is really just to avoid boredom. How do you create entertaining like videos that market your brand in a positive way that people actually, look forward to receiving versus doing a bunch of boring stuff like market updates or turn back the clocks or stuff that nobody watches. So let's start off right away and get right on into what we're going to be talking about today. And everything we're going to be talking about is building a strong personal brand with video. Okay, I believe that video, playing it in the way we're going to describe it in this training, is going to be very relevant to building a strong brand. And we're going to tell you why and how and go step by step how that all happens. So before we get into that, let me first tell you who video is not for. And the truth is that video is not right for every single person. And this is something that is most likely going to be new for you. It's not hard, but you must be willing to learn. We can only show you a better way, but the motivation to get on camera has to come from within you. You must be willing to be uncomfortable. I like saying get comfortable being uncomfortable, a term we heard from Jesse Itzler at Intimate Mastermind once, and it's really stuck to my mind where I like to use it and explain, because that's exactly how this process is. You must be willing to put yourself out there. You must be willing to get personal, and you must be committed to playing the long game. If you do these things, you must be willing, well, actually, naturally, you're going to build a brand. Because the whole goal of doing this in the first place is because agents with a strong personal brand, they don't chase business. Business chases them, and this is why your brand matters. Only 4% of consumers pick their agent because of the brand that they were affiliated with, which means that 96% of consumers chose the agent, not the brand who they're affiliated with. Because we know that people do business with agents they know, like, and trust. But also, you have to remain top of mind. You have to be remembered. You see, people remember your brand, not so much your individuality. And when you start associating your brand with real estate consistently, that means you win. It's not about telling people you're in real estate with your marketing efforts, but more so like rather reminding them you're in real estate through storytelling and other things that people are more interested in consuming. At the end of the day, consistent communication to the same audience over time is how you build a brand. It's very simple. In terms that most real estate agents understand it, is you farm your database in your local community. What we're going to talk about is the power of visual imagery next, just to sort of demonstrate the point here and show you exactly what this is. So really quick, what I want you to do is look at the screen in front of you. I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen if you don't have one. If you don't, then go ahead and take a couple mental notes. And I want you to describe 3 different images that instantly come to mind just by seeing this blue lettering of boy. Give you just a couple seconds. Okay. Now I want you to see what you think now. Here's another boy. But notice the difference in impact that this picture has as opposed to just seeing boy in blue lettering. Baby boy in a bathtub, baby boy with 3 teeth, baby boy with a blue bottle behind him next to the toilet. You get such a more powerful impact visually and emotionally that it leaves a little bit stronger of an impression on you, doesn't it? Well, let's try this now with video. See, if we look at the 3 forms of visual imagery, actually text, and pictures and imagery, each level creates a bigger impact. Now, I'm going to share with you a story that I know everyone can relate with. I have a friend from college that I haven't seen in quite some time. We don't really talk much anymore. However, because of Facebook, I feel like I've been able to sort of stay in touch with him. Over the years, I've seen that he's got a couple kids now, And consistently, he sort of, you know, posts his kids' videos and his kids' birthday parties and pictures and all of this stuff on social media. Now, even though that me and my friend here, Matt, have not necessarily hung around together, have not necessarily picked up the phone and had a conversation, and has not necessarily, stayed in touch consistently, we have through social media because it allowed me to sort of stay in touch mentally. You see, video is the most impressionable way to stay relevant. And when we use video in marketing to nurture our database and build relationships through it and our local community. Now, the exact same way that Matt sort of have stayed in touch with me is the exact same way how you can stay in touch with your database, your entire list of relationships and people within your community that your brand story resonates with. Because if I were to walk down the grocery store today and see Matt, I would instantly know who he is and not miss a beat and probably go up and give him a bro hug. But at the very same time, if I did not have any consistency or contact with Matt from now to 16 years ago when I was in college, the chances of me walking right past him and not even noticing that he's there or who he is greatly increase, don't they? So, what do you think happens when you stop communicating with your entire SOI and local community? Well, they forget you exist. So, a lot of people get confused over what branding is and how do you build a brand. It just sounds like a term. We'll just make it very, very simple for you. It's a number of people who instantly associate your name with real estate. That determines how big your brand is. In other words, if there's two people talking about real estate, one of them inserts your name into the conversation. How many people do that will determine how big your brand is in terms of your real estate brand. We all have a personal brand, but what we do know is that video makes your brand very hard to forget, and at the same time, it nurtures your relationship simultaneously. The same way pictures and visual imagery and video have nurtured the relationship I have with my longtime amigo Matt. So the problem that most of us have, though, when we understand that, fundamental truth is this: I don't know what to say. I look stupid. I'm ugly. I'm fat. My stuff's going to be boring. I mean, how do I keep all this stuff up? People don't really care. They don't care what I have to say. Well, I could totally understand and I can relate that. I remember doing my first video and not knowing what to say. It felt weird. But like I said at the beginning, video is just new. The fundamental key to creating a consistent video marketing plan that you nurture your relationships with is by not doing this. Do not shoot videos just to check a box. As a matter of fact, before we work with anybody, we identify their brand story first because it is super important to create videos that represent your brand. Because at the end of the day, the key is authenticity and consistency. And if you're not talking or you're not communicating in the way that God naturally made you, which is the whole point of identifying your brand story first, you're not going to be authentic, and then therefore you're going to feel like you don't really like doing this, and if you do that, I'm telling you, you won't be consistent with it. See, we believe in generating attention around your brand that makes you unforgettable. Because generating attention around your brand with video creates top of mind brand awareness, and that's what equals attraction. So let's go through. Now you understand the how and why. Let's dive a little bit more because you're probably like, Mike, I don't understand how brand story. I don't understand what you're talking about. So let me discuss what I mean by defining your brand story, and let's go through an example. Your videos do not have to be about real estate. Instead, they need to remind people you're in real estate. And we find that when you talk about something you're very passionate about, the key comes out to the whole point of being on video in the first place, and that's authenticity, because we want to connect with your videos. You want to create content that connects with your audience. And the truth is that you're not boring. You just haven't defined your brand yet. So let me give you an example on a case study and walk you through exactly how this works step by step. Meet Denise Roldan. Denise Roldan has created a Mama brand. Her current real estate brand is Mama Sells San Diego. because when we went back and realized whom Denise really is as a person and a human being, is that she's first a mom that happens to sell real estate. She's not a real estate agent that happens to be a mom. And just by knowing that, when we went back and looked at all of Denise's different clients that she worked with, one thing was in common. They were all parents. You see, we all naturally gravitate to people that we're naturally attracted to, which typically are people who are just like us, demographically, lifestyle, um, geography, you name it. People are attracted to other people just like them. But the problem was is that Denise was sick of cold calling. She was sick of trying to go chase a bunch of leads, and she didn't know how to not be a salesperson. You see, when we came up with this series for Denise, what we started doing, which is called Ask Mama, Ask Mama was created to give Denise an excuse to pop up to her database and to market her brand and consistently appear and maintain a omnipresent presence on social media and through even video email, which we'll get to in a little bit. But she's doing it in a storytelling type of way. So let's go watch this first video that Denise did this is what we call her brand story video. This is pretty much like the bio video of, hey, this is who I am and how I roll. This is what it's like to work with me. And the only thing here is not to sell a house or to convert. Well, I guess it is to convert, but it's not to do anything that other than allow someone to see Denise's personality. And we'll skip here to the end. So you can see that Denise focuses on marketing. Being a mom is her excuse to keep popping up. Now, this is a one time type video that Denise uses as sort of her brand story bio that she accompanies all over her website, her social media channels, and basically wherever her brand is represented. But Denise also has to create a consistent form of media because the truth is, if Denise can't solely rely on just that one video to consistently build her brand, she needs to continue to create videos, to splash the videos around her community, her SOI, and her whatnot. So Denise created a series called Ask Mama. And this first video I'm going to show you is how Denise markets her brand and goes around town and creates kid-friendly content. So you'll see what I mean in just a second. So Denise is just turning the video camera on the sidelines during her kid's birthday party, as a matter of fact, and because she's creating kid-friendly content. So every time Denise pops up around town, what she's doing is subliminally sort of reminding her database and her network what it is that she does for a living. And I mean, and how many people wouldn't think it's cool to, I think it's cool to visit a camel farm. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take my kids there. But the point is that a realtor is supposed to be a local expert. So the truth is that every time Denise creates her content and splashes it out there, what she's really doing is at the same time is sort of reminding her network and her database what it is that she does for a living. And that consistency is how Mama is building her brand. Now, I'm going to show you one other video because there's a different types of videos for different things that you can do. And one of the things that Mama really likes to do is she likes to talk about real estate. But the way she talks about real estate is the key and why she makes her content very interesting and not so much boring. She's not creating videos of market reports and of talking head styles. She's creating content that creates interest, but it's the way that she creates it. So let me share with you this video real quick. That whole piece right there just allows Denise to go ahead and talk about real estate in a cute, fun type of way. Denise went from being completely scared to go being on camera to actually being excited to do more and more videos and create content on. Why? Because she's identified her brand story. So let me give you one more example of an agent in California who's doing the exact same thing. What she's doing it though is she's doing it with a flamingo. So her name is Tara Carter, and she has transformed into a flamingo. And she did this. She's about 4 years into the business, going to be doing just under $20 million. All of it has been business that has been attracted because she's an expert at branding. Now, in her story, and if you'd like to learn more about it, you can download the episode on my podcast. But her story is about a year into her business. She's always wearing pink, and she was looking for a way to associate something pink with her. And it wasn't the fact that it just happened to be a flamingo, but what the flamingos stand for. She looked up the definition of the flamingo, and what she found out was that a flamingo really represented her personality and her brand, and she related to it. So, what she does now is that she markets the flamingo. She markets the flamingo everywhere. As you can see, she'll have flamingo floaties in the pool. She'll have flamingo themed client parties. She has flamingo themed client closing parties or going away parties. I mean, everything she does revolves around the flamingo. But it's the flamingo that gives her the excuse to create interesting like content that nobody else is doing. Because the truth is that she's competing against 63,000 other realtors in her market. But I could promise you one thing, and that is that there's only one freaking flamingo. And whether you like it or not, you can't get her out of her head. And folks, that is branding. See, people relate and remember to mama or flamingos, and people don't follow you, they follow your story. That's why things on Instagram like stories and all these things are so popular, is because people follow real stuff. See, Denise is just comfortable behind the camera being a mom versus being a realtor. And in Tara's case, she likes talking about flamingos and incorporating them into everything, including how it's her flock. That's what she refers to it as. You see, authenticity cannot be outsourced. And the thing is to find out what is your flamingo. And that's exactly what we do at Real Estate Marketing Dude before we ever take anyone onto stage two. Now, once you have built your audiences, we move on to stage two, and it's all focused about where your sales and closed transactions actually come from. So these are stats not reported from me, but reported from NAR. And you can see that if you add these all up, over 80% of closed transactions come from people you already know, you worked with in the past, or you personally met. And that's the fact. That's why branding is so important. So the question is so who should be seeing your videos? A bunch of strangers, or probably the people that are responsible for seeing you the most? And then my question to you is, what do you think happens when you stop communicating with your database? And they forget you exist because it's not their job to send you business. It's your job to actually remind them to. See, these are the numbers of the percentages of people move, because everything I'm going to show you is not theory, it's purely mathematical. This is how you market your database. Now, unless you know these numbers, you'll never be motivated to create the content in a consistent way. So I want you to write these numbers down and never, ever, ever, ever forget them. 10 to 15% of the population moves each and every year. 100% of the population knows someone that they can refer you to. And if the average person moves every 6 to 9 years, then I want you just to go ahead and do the math. It's said that the average person also knows 290 people each. So it's not about having a huge database, it's about having an engaged one, because 72% of people close with the first agent they meet. So when you're consistently creating content in front of people that you already know, like, and trust, or people who would be just like you, you tend to be one of the first people they think of. Therefore, that's how you attract business. Now, there's two audiences, though, that we like to create. The first audience is your sphere of influence. These are your best friends, your family, your aunts, your uncles, your florist, your dentist, and any other person whom you would be angry to log on to Facebook and learn that they bought or sold a house with another realtor. The second audience that you would want to create is what we would call your digital farm. Your digital farm are people that would match up to your brand based upon what your brand story is. So let's first talk about what we mean by your SOI list. So we'll first create an SOI email list so that we can send video content to replace your old, stale, boring campaigns. Nobody wants another turn back the clock email or a monthly market update. But when you start creating hyper-local content, or just any video content that is not just a talking head and it has some level of entertainment to it, your open rates will increase and people will actually start looking forward to receiving your content. The second thing you want to do is download and extract all of your cell phones with all of your emails of your entire SOI, then upload them into Facebook so that you can start targeting that entire database with your video content on Instagram and Facebook by simply just hitting the boost button. You see, the goal is not to generate leads. The goal is to generate attention and put your content in front of the audience who's responsible for over 80% of your business, and that is your SOI. Now, you do this 1 to 2 times a month, and you keep on duplicating it. Now, your digital farm, on the other hand, and I'll use Ask Mama as an example, would be people within your geographic zip codes that your brand would relate to. In this case, you want to continue to promote to this audience all of your content. In Denise's case, she's going to be the geographic zip codes that she works in of parents with kids under the age of 14. That is the brand that resonates with her content. That is the brand that she creates content, or that's the audience that she creates content for. The problem most real estate agents have is because we try to resonate with all types of people, and the truth is that it's not natural to do so. You're not God, nor should I ever think that you are, because not everyone's going to want to do business with you. And once you can accept that and really unleash the power of you inside of it, that's the key to cracking this entire brand strategy. Now, let's first look at why people refer you, and then you'll see the psychology behind this works. You see, they refer you because they like or are satisfied with your past service. They also like the person asking or hinting about getting a referral, and ultimately, people are wired to solve problems. We actually wired to do it, and we're just looking to be acknowledged. So the truth is that people want to actually refer you, but you have to give them a little assistance. You got to make yourself, your brand, and the trust in your service referable. Now, there are 3 things for referrals to occur. First, the referring party has to notice a conversation about real estate. Secondly, is that they have to think of you. This is the absolute key. Then they have to like you enough to introduce your services into the conversations. Okay? As you consistently create video content to the same brand, it just makes you unforgettable, because video builds audiences. See, a database is nothing more than a collection of contact information, and it's not really worth anything. An audience is a collection of relationships that actually pay attention to what it is that you say. See, video nurtures your untapped database and transforms it into an audience, and then you build an audience that turns into your sales force. That is attraction defined, as simple as I can make it. Now, once you have the audiences built, the next thing you're going to want to do, and the next thing we do, is plan and define whatever that ongoing video strategy is. And let me walk you through a 30-day media plan and show you exactly what I mean. Now, let's pretend it's February of 2018 and you decide that you want to do 2 videos a month. We do this with several of our clients and we walk them through and we'll set up a consistent publishing schedule. Now, in this example, we're showing that February 2018, which means that the videos that are going to be publishing in February of 2018 were shot in January of 2018. The videos that'll come out in March in 2018 are shot in February, and so on and so on. You always want to stay 30 days ahead of it. That's how you get consistent. It's amazing at what just a little bit of planning and a tiny bit of organization that our team runs for you will do to your branding and and building your personal brand. But let's take a look at how you can remain really omnipresent with just a tiny bit of planning. So I'll get to the distribution strategy by the end of this training, but just really briefly, what you're going to have is that, let's say this is publishing on the first and third Wednesdays of each month, and here's what happens once you actually launch your videos. So you create your video content, you write a blog post, we write a blog post, we put it on your website, we upload your video to YouTube, and we optimize it for rank. Then we send out a video to your entire SOI database of the video content, and then you post the video to each one of your social media platforms. Simultaneously, what we suggest doing is running Facebook ads to the audiences that we have created in step 2. Now, what happens is that as you promote your content, you're getting a little buzz from all your natural posts, and then your ad's going to run your content all the way through the next week and probably a little even beyond. You're going to take a little bit of a break, and then boom, you're back with another episode. The key here is that it just remains consistent, and that's the key to building the brand over time, because the same thing happens on this month. And that's why I say the truth is that depending on how big or what kind of strategy you're using, and everybody's in a little bit of different shape, you could go a couple different ways with it, but ultimately what matters is consistency. Now, you're going to be doing a lot of other things. There's plenty of people we work with that do multiple video strategies. So that's a business interviews. Let's say they want to do 3 videos a month, and then boom, you have a neighborhood series. The neighborhood series would just be an off-spin of what the other series was, and the same thing happens with it. Now, I'm not going to say that most of our clients are also doing other things to market their brands. They might be sending holiday mailers that goes out through direct mail. We can also automate that through our software as well. They might be sending out listings, postcards, or listing videos, or whatever it may be, and whatever else it is that they're doing. But when you strategically place your marketing in front of your SOI in a storytelling type of way, that is the beauty and the power inside of this. So let's go view, once you understand what the video strategy is, I'm going to play a couple, because the truth is that everyone's brand will have a little bit of a different one. Let's start off talking about this one with a team in San Diego that does things a little bit outside the box. So this team just likes to do things a little bit outside the box and decided to do an Anchorman spoof video. And it's just something to sort of just stay on top of mind with. Now let's look at this lender who actually has done a case study. One of the things I can't stand most personally, and I know for a matter of a fact that nobody else does, is your bragging, just listed, just sold social media posts. Now, this lender right here did the complete opposite. We came up with a case study strategy. So instead of him saying clear to close or just close for some of the clients he's financed, he now instead tells the story of how he overcame the objections that he came across the way. So instead of saying just listed, just sold, why don't you start exposing the story? Because the truth is that people love seeing this type of content, because HGTV has already proved that point for us. Check out this video. This video turned into 7 loan applications within a 45-day period because Bob decided to tell the story. Because Bob showed how he solved people's problems and how Bob showed how he can perform all through the form of a story. Imagine doing the exact same thing, but with your clients. Here's another agent that is doing creating neighborhood content in the form of neighborhood tours. Let's check it out. So this agent works for a team called the Dream Homes team. That's why his videos always open up in the dreams. The name of this series is called Dream Hoods or Dream Neighborhoods inside of San Diego. So again, his story is that he sells dreams. Therefore, every time he's creating videos, he's playing on the whole dream concept. Let's take a look at one more agent that does things a little bit outside the box. And her whole brand is about living it up and treating every day like it's your last. And for her, yeah, she's a little crazy, but this is the way that she communicates with her audience because her audience, I guess, they're also crazy. Being silly allows Mo to tell her real estate story. You see, everybody has a different brand, and there's no shortage of content to create. The key is just, how do you create yours? Now, let's look at another show. This is called Ramona Revealed, and we'll go ahead and play this really quick. Ramona Revealed was a show in Southern California that really just took off. And how Ramona Revealed markets her business is she uses Ramona Revealed as a business interview strategy to market to her database and then simultaneously to her entire sphere of influence. So I wanted to show you how running an ad to these very audiences works and exactly why you want to do it because it's so inexpensive and you can't get better dollars spent. Now, in this particular example, I think she spent a whole whopping like $15 and she reached, it shows 3,800, 3,900 people, we'll call it. Of that 3,900 people, there are 2,900 shares or views, 25 shares, and 7 comments. And you can't really beat that type of branding because not only did she create a referring relationship from the business owner because she created basically a mini TV commercial for them that actually helped increase some of their sales, but at the same time, every time she appears on camera, she's also reminding her database what she does for a living, reminding her local community that she's there and open for business. And she's constantly just building upon that brand. So it's not rocket science, but it just goes to show you is that when you place your content in front of the right audiences with the right strategy and the right story that matches your brand, um, how important it really is to crack that authenticity. So let's go through sort of the mechanics in step 4 off of sort of how this works. See, when you're creating a video series, what you're doing is you're creating a story that's a consistent story. And what I want you to do is think about Diners, Dive-Ins, and Dash with Guy Ferrari. And if you're familiar with that show, it's on the Food Network. And Guy Ferrari, sort of like me, is a total dude. And what Guy Ferrari does is he creates content and goes around the country on the grease pits of America. In other words, like hangover food. Now, I don't see Guy Ferrari creating content on like French bistros or sushi restaurants because his brand doesn't play that part. Now, we're doing the exact same thing. However, we're just doing it with hyper local video within your community. Our shows are not 30 minutes long, but our shows are more like 3 to 5 minutes long. And how it works is that everything is already structured. So not only do we send our clients all of the equipment, but then we also show them exactly how to use that. And no differently than how you would have a listing type checklist. Well, we have a video type checklist. And when you understand how your brand story comes out, you can sort of see that a lot of this is almost like a Mad Lib type thing. You're always going to have an attention getter, and we always have our doors open for any of our clients to ask us exactly how to build the attention getters. As a matter of fact, I have 2 hours per day that I leave open for nothing other than office hours for any other content creators around the country. But once you get into your intro, it's not that hard. Your script actually fills in itself. So just like Guy Ferrari says, welcome to other episodes of Diners, Dive-Ins, and Dash. Today we're going to go check out the grease pits of America. You can also say, welcome to another episode of Ask Mama. Today we're going to go figure out where I got this diamond in the rough, and a great place to have your kids' birthday parties. We're going to go inside, meet the owner, and see exactly how you might be able to do the same thing for your kids and your family. Right? This is a shot checklist, and we show you how to do all this stuff on your cell phone. It's not hard. We have people anywhere from a 12-year-old to a 75-year-old grandma shooting videos on their cell phones because that thing in your pocket is really all you need, in my opinion. Now, let's go on to step number 5. As I told you earlier, we're going to go through video distribution and exactly what it means. So here's our step-by-step process of how we can distribute content to with each video that we create. Now, the first thing we do is obviously we edit the video and get it all published. But we video email that video right out to your entire list of SOI and your database. We don't want to bore your database with boring spam-like content that's sitting in some drip email service provider. It's not effective. You have to brand your database through authentic video content that they actually look forward to receiving because everybody supports their community. And once you start doing this, people start supporting you. Second thing we do is you want to splash it out to all of your social media profiles. Not only the first stop of that is going to be YouTube, where we optimize the video. We optimize it for ranks so that it can get views on your social channel. The second thing we're going to do is upload it to your business page, and we'll get to that in a second. But you want to take this video and publish it to each one of your personal social media platforms. This is your Instagram, your personal Facebook page, your LinkedIn page, and we will handle the rest. We write your post for you, show you exactly how to do it, and even cut it up for special pieces on Instagram. Now, once the video is on YouTube, what we want to do is multi-purpose that content on your website. The reason why we do that is because the more content you have on your site, the more your brand grows, and so does your local authority. My question I have for you is, would you hire you if based upon just visiting your website? And the truth is if you don't have a lot of content on your website, what does that really say about your brand? One of the reasons you're probably even watching this video right now is because you've either been following my podcast, you've been following some of my training, my content, my blog, you might have taken a course, or you might have seen me speaking live. Now, that's all content that I've created over time to build my brand. And the more of it I have, the less likely you're going to question if I know what I'm doing. I'm showing you how to do the exact same thing just in your local community. Because the truth is that the same reason why or what makes you decide to go on a certain vacation and book it from Travelocity is because of the reviews. And everything you put on your site is just another review, which is why we highly encourage a video at the top of every page on your website. The next thing we're going to do is optimize this on YouTube. If your videos, optimization is sort of like YouTube SEO, if you will. And when you do that, it's very simple. You want to create hyper-local search terms that your videos get found. Again, this is something that we do for all of our clients, but if you're not one of our clients, make sure you go ahead and do this. YouTube is going to be huge, ladies and gentlemen. Take advantage of it now. The last stop is going to be running Facebook ads. And the reason why we run Facebook ads is because you're not going to reach your entire SOI or local community just posting on your personal pages. So if you remember in stage 2, we built your entire database for a reason. We uploaded all their cell phone numbers of your SOI as well as the email list that you provided. And now you can easily reach that audience through Facebook because your personal page's algorithm is limited to 18 to 22%-ish, give or take. So you want to reach everyone else that is not seeing your content. Now, every video, this is just simply a rinse and repeat process. As you continue to tell your story, this is exactly how you do it. This is exactly how you do it step by step, and it just becomes a rinse and repeat process. So I hope you hope that this video really helped you walk through exactly how you build a brand in a step-by-step process. As you can see, we can do this for you. If you're interested in working with a dude, the first thing we do is we build a show that matches your personality. We give you a logo, we give you a show name. It's got to be something that you're excited about. Once that part is done, then we start building your database of lists and start setting up your audiences so that once you start shooting videos, you have someone to send them to. We send you the equipment, and then we also train you how to use it. And it's very, very simple because there's no reason why you're not shooting your first video in 7 to 10 days from coming on board with us. Going forward, what we do is we coach you along the way through our mastermind on the back end with 2 calls. We have a private Facebook group, and we're always available Monday through Friday to provide any type of support you need. But we also will handle all of your editing and distribution going forward. So we are more of a partnership in a consistent content creation manner, I guess I would say. The only thing that happens is that you build a brand, everyone knows, and then you start generating more and more referrals. If that sounds like something you may be interested in, either schedule a demo with me in the button directly below this video, or visit my website. And in the menu bar, you'll be able to find a schedule demo with a dude or schedule a video strategy call button right on my website, front and open. Which can be found at www.realestatemarketingdude.com. We really hope you enjoyed the webinar, folks. Video is not hard, it's just new. But get out there and get on camera, whether it's with me or it's with somebody else. The truth is that there's an entire attention grab happening right now, and there's no reason why you don't go out there and grab it, because if you don't, somebody else is. Remember, someone's always marketing your database. It's either you or it's them. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed the training.